Let's dive into a powerful story, a kind of allegory for our own existence. It's a story that starts a lot like our own lives, with a sudden, kind of jarring awakening.
So imagine this. One moment, there's nothing, and the next, you're awake. But you're not in your bed. You're sitting in a seat on a passenger plane already mid-flight. The cabin is full of strangers all around you.
It's a really unsettling journey. And your mind, it just starts racing, trying to figure out what is even happening on this flight. The first question just hits you like a ton of bricks. Where am I? You look around, but all you see are unfamiliar faces. And outside the window, just clouds and an endless blue sky.
And of course, that leads to the next, even more troubling question. Where am I going? I mean, you definitely didn't board this plane, you have no idea what the destination is, and it seems like nobody else has an answer either.
Meanwhile, the flight attendants are always moving through the aisles, and they seem friendly, almost too helpful, right? They're offering newspapers, movies, drinks, basically anything to keep you occupied, to keep you from thinking too hard about what's really going on.
But then you notice something. Something everybody else is trying really, really hard to ignore. There's a man. He's standing by the main exit door. He's powerful, and it's clear nobody can resist him. Every so often, he just calmly walks over to a passenger, takes them by the arm, and throws them from the plane. And the other passengers? They just go on with their journey, like nothing even happened.
Okay, so you've probably guessed by now this strange, unsettling story isn't actually about a plane. It's an allegory for our life, right here, on what you could call Spaceship Earth.
Think about it. Right now, as you're listening to this, you're a passenger. You're on a planet that is hurtling through the giant emptiness of space at over 107,000 kilometers per hour. You're a passenger on a journey you didn't consciously start, heading to a destination you don't really know. So here's how that whole mystery translates into our reality. The plane, well, that represents our world, Spaceship Earth. And we, all of us, we're the passengers. The flight attendants symbolize all the worldly distractions, careers, entertainment, all those temporary pleasures that keep us from asking the really big questions. And that man at the door, he is the angel of death, taking people from this life when their time is up.
But the source material for this idea goes even deeper. It takes this big abstract problem of death and makes it intensely personal. It introduces this second, more intimate dilemma, the gun at the feast.
Okay, so picture this. You're at this magnificent feast. Every worldly delight you could possibly want is right there in front of you. But sitting right next to you is a man with a gun pointed at your head. And he just leans over and says, "You focus on your meal. I'll pull the trigger sometime." I mean, seriously, could you truly enjoy a single bite with that hanging over you?
So this leaves us with the real question, right? How can you possibly enjoy the meal? This whole dilemma presents us with a fundamental choice. Do we try to forget about the man with the gun, or do we turn around and face him?
And the source lays out two possible paths. Path number one is the drug of distraction. We use these temporary pleasures to forget about what's inevitable. We kind of become like a driver who has incomplete papers, constantly anxious, terrified of being stopped by the police. Path two, though, is the clarity of confrontation. We actually face the reality of death, and we try to understand it. We live our lives with our papers in order, so we're not afraid of that inevitable checkpoint because, hey, we're prepared for it.
And this is where the whole allegory offers this really profound shift in how we see things. The way to enjoy the meal isn't to forget the man with the gun, but to understand him. And that means we have to redefine the end itself.
The source suggests this really powerful reframing. That death isn't just annihilation. It's not the end of your existence, but it's simply a transition from one state of being to another.
The source puts it beautifully, saying, "Death is a comma in the great sentence of our existence, not the final period. It's just a pause, a shift, but it is not the last word." And if we can really grasp that, the fear starts to go away, and we can live a much more peaceful journey.
But why is this struggle so uniquely human? Well, it all comes down to our duty to ask why, the one thing that really separates our consciousness from that of other animals.
I mean, really think about it. An animal doesn't feel sorrow for what happened yesterday or anxiety for what might happen tomorrow. The source even points out that a cow on its way to the slaughterhouse will just enjoy its last meal, completely unaware. But we're different. We are uniquely burdened, and you could say gifted, with the memory of past pain and the worry of what's to come. And we alone are equipped with the reason to question it all.
And this leads to a pretty powerful conclusion.
to question our existence, to ask where we came from, where we're going. It's not just an option, it's a fundamental human duty. Only the people who sincerely engage in this questioning can ever really hope to find the truth.
Which brings us to the final, really provocative question that this whole allegory poses. If you cannot stop the man at the door, if you can't close the exit or end the journey, then who do you listen to for advice on how to live? The flight attendants offering endless distractions, or the creator's messengers who are trying to explain the meaning of the journey itself? That, right there, is the choice we're all left to consider.